Hello. Hi, Terry. Hi.
Could you make me co-host?
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Hi, Alejandro. Alejandro. No. Host. I want to play the movie about about um, the movie about jail. Maybe just to wait for a few more minutes. Alejandro, where are you located? Can unmute yourself.
Hello.
Hello, yes.
Yes. Hi, how are you?
Good, how about you?
I'm good, thank you.
Oh. Where are you located?
I'm in South America right now, in Ecuador.
Oh, wow. South America, huh? Wow. I always want to visit there. It's very beautiful there, huh? How's this?
You should, yeah.
What?
You should, anytime.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the nice weather
hmm
all year long.
Yeah,
I live by high mountains,
yeah,
so it's very nice.
yeah. I always want to connect with some of those sacred very powerful spot there.
Yeah, I think you would love it.
Yeah, yeah. I think so too.
Well, you can come and visit anytime.
Oh, really? Where are you? Which country are you again?
Ecuador.
Ecuador. Wow,
Yeah.
Ecuador. Wow. So how did you connect with us?
I lived in Canada for a few years.
Yes.
And I used to go to the Ottawa group,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how I connected with you. And then I just follow the teachings every now and then. And lately, with more need, I started to do more of the practices and reconnect again.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. I'm so glad. Wonderful. Yeah. So hopefully we will be able to help you with move your life forward.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. It will. It's really miraculous journey.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
it's beautiful. It's painful. It's everything.
It's true. It's true. But the part of the pain is like a growing pain, huh?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, the last workshop helped me a lot. Mm,
Which one?
the um, the forgiveness
Oh,
workshop.
oh, great.
Yeah, I could open my heart a bit
Mm-hmm.
in
Yeah,
ways that I've never done it before.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad. Wonderful. So maybe we watch this movie. Today there's not many people. Um, great. Paul, are you here? I think Paul is here, huh? So and also maybe yeah, let's watch the movie first. want to see this movie about the Dow hands. They're really cute. They're very amazing. I want to watch it again. So this is okay, I'll connect here. Here. Okay. So let's watch this movie about a Dow hands healer, how he used the Dow hands to heal his life, and then become a hero in helping many people to heal. It's really very heart touching.
Berlin, can I ask you to stop it a second and I'll give you a way to make it better?
Okay.
Sorry, I had to take care of baby and chanting. If you stop the share for a moment,
Okay.
okay, and then click on share screen one more time
Okay.
and go to the top where it says basic and advanced.
Um, Top. Okay.
Click on advanced.
Mm-hmm.
Click on the middle one, says music or computer sound only.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, great.
And now click on share again.
Okay.
And then if you go back to share one more time, you can share your screen. You might have to click basic, but if not, you should be able to share your screen so you can show the video and
Yeah.
it will play very cleanly. And you can talk over it if you want to.
Okay. So, but right now, what is being shared? So it's like any screen I turn
So,
on.
right? Yeah, only what you tell it. So go back to share again.
Okay. Stop share.
And make sure at the top it says basic, not advanced.
Oh, basic. Okay, basic.
And then choose whatever screen you want to show.
Okay.
What this effectively does is it makes the music clean and you can talk over it.
Oh, okay. Okay. So should we get started?
Yeah, please. Sorry, I was out of the room.
Okay. Make it bigger.
We don't need to be a millionaire to become a philanthropist and help humanity and help the world. I was born and raised in Martinique. Since 2017, I've been back and forth from Toronto, where I live, to the Caribbean to help my people and my community as a dog. Bonjour. Alors, qu'est-ce que je peux faire pour toi? Quelles sont tes douleurs?
C'est la hanche. Mais il y a 3 ans, j'ai fait une sorte d'arthrite septique. On ne sait pas d'où ça vient, pourquoi. Je n'ai plus d'amplitude dans le genou. Le genou je suis raide.
Ok.
Je suis raide du
Donc tu
genou.
peux pas plier.
Ah, non. Ça fait 3 ans que j'ai une sciatique.
3 ans.
On va pas dire récurrente, on va dire permanente.
Ok. Et la douleur est à combien?
Ah là, des fois elle est à 7. Hein.
7 sur 10?
Ah oui.
Et aujourd'hui, tu as une douleur de combien?
Mais aujourd'hui, je devais être à 5-6 sur 10. C'est oui, si je fais oh là là, il faut que je guide le bras pour me soulager moi-même pour pouvoir.
Oh, ok. Ah, est-ce que tu peux te lever, marcher un petit peu, on va voir avant et après. Ok. Essaie de voir comment tu arrives, c'est quoi ton maximum. Alors, ce que je vais faire, je vais appuyer sur des points. Quand je vais appuyer, tu vas souffler. Ok, pour pas que.
C'est ça?
Voilà, tiens. Inspire. Ici, ça fait bien. Le foie.
Tout le pied. Tout le pied.
Répète après moi. Cher Shen Shi Jing.
Cher Shang Shi
Jing.
Jing
De mon dos,
de mon dos,
du son Joe
du son du
et de mes mains.
et de mes mains.
Je vous apprécie.
Je vous apprécie.
Vous avez le pouvoir
Vous avez le pouvoir
de réduire mes douleurs
de réduire mes douleurs
et de me guérir.
et de me guérir.
Merci.
Merci.
Ha, ha, ha. Lève-toi, bouge la jambe.
Mais j'ai pas de douleur, mais elle monte un petit peu plus.
Oui,
Elle est un petit peu plus.
marche, reviens. Wow.
Mais j'ai rien senti là où j'ai mal d'habitude, en tout cas.
Alors, la douleur était à combien au départ?
Là, j'avais dit 7, hein.
7 sur 10?
Oui, 7.
Et c'est quoi la douleur maintenant?
Là, j'ai rien. Là. En tout cas,
Zéro?
j'ai rien. Sans mentir, j'ai rien.
Good. Good, good.
Sincèrement.
Tes bras non plus, ça va?
Le bras, bah,
Wow.
et celui-là.
Good. Excellent. Tu es contente? Hmm.
Moi qui suis une infirmière retraitée, j'ai soigné les gens toute ma vie, je n'ai jamais rendu quelqu'un aussi bien, aussi vite que Gilles m'a rendu bien. En plus, sans médicaments. Parce que j'ai été 3 ans sous morphine, ça n'a jamais rien calmé du tout. Ensuite, j'ai eu 86 séances de kiné, qui n'ont rien donné. Quand je rentrais chez moi, j'avais encore plus mal que quand j'arrivais chez le kiné. Par conséquent, j'aime mieux encore me pencher du côté de Gilles, qui quand même, en plus c'est pas violent comme soin, c'est une pratique douce et qui fait du bien, qui relaxe, qui fait du bien et qui donne des résultats. Qui donne des résultats. Et c'est la première fois que je le vois.
Gilles, c'est mon neveu. Il habitait le Lamentin et tous les week-ends, Gilles venait ici à Grandance nous voir. On se voyait très très souvent. J'ai vu Gilles grandir en fait. En 2016, on a découvert que j'avais un cancer au poumon gauche. J'ai subi une opération très très importante. On m'a enlevé un lobe du poumon. Et en 2017, on m'a à nouveau décelé un cancer du sein droit. J'ai été opérée et traitée par médicaments contenant des opiacés, de l'opium, donc ça me fatiguait beaucoup. Et Gilles a appris ça et de Toronto, il m'a donné des soins à distance. J'ai arrêté de prendre les médicaments et je me suis sentie vraiment une autre personne, tellement bien. J'ai trouvé ça incroyable. À son adolescence, Gilles, en grandissant, tout le monde pensait dans la famille, y compris moi, qu'il deviendrait un homme d'affaires, qui ferait du commerce international, mais jamais, jamais j'aurais pensé qu'il serait devenu thérapeute.
I never dreamt I would become a Dao healer like I do now. Since my 20s, I was building online businesses. I started to build a business with China to bring electronics to the Caribbean, to bring another cheaper alternative to my people. In 2012, I launched a new business that became very successful. It was a prototype of a new skateboard reproducing the surf sensation out of water. I was doing business with different countries, China, Taiwan, Australia, France, and so on. Then suddenly I became paralyzed from my right hand. I couldn't even grab a glass of water. My genetic back pain became aggravated, and I was literally crawling to the bathroom. At that time, I couldn't work anymore. In the next 2 years, I spent over $8,000 trying different modalities, trying to fix my hand, namely, and my back without any success. I became depressed. I could no longer work. I became suicidal. And my wife had to take care of the family financially and physically. The paralysis in my right hand became worse. The pain was intolerable. It was over 10 on a scale of 1 to 10. The strongest painkiller didn't even work. At that point, the doctors gave me two choices. either amputate the hand now or wait for 6 months and having to amputate the elbow. After a few months of research online, I was fortunate enough to see a video of Master Shah healing a Bollywood star that was deaf.
Hi! Keep your mouth open. Ha! 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 How are you? Listen. Close eyes, close eyes. Can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you. Can see how many years deaf?
How many years? I can't tell you, but long. I think about 20 years or so. Well, I'm so overwhelmed, I don't know what to say.
By the end of the video, she could hear. I was totally amazed. I knew at that time I needed to meet Master Shah to help me. 1 week after I watched that video, I was fortunate enough that Master Shah was coming in town in Toronto to offer a workshop. He offered me a blessing, and right away the pain dropped 90%. My fingers started to move again. I was totally amazed. Then master teachers, trained by Master Shah, gave me self-healing techniques to take care of my back. After months and a half of daily practice, my genetic back pain was gone. So you have to know that I was taking painkillers for over 17 years to take care of my back. It was truly unbelievable. From my own personal healing experience, I was so touched and so moved. I knew in my heart I had to bring that teaching to other people that were suffering around the world. Growing up in Fort-de-France, Martinique, I experienced a lot of trauma and rejection. I didn't want my children to go through this also, so I decided to make a life for myself and my family in another country. I chose Toronto, Canada. After becoming a Dao healer trained by Master Shah, I knew in my heart I had to go back to Martinique to serve my people and my community.
Gilles, Saint-Père. Et la famille Messi, Mathilda va bien, tes parents, tout le monde va bien.
Mon cousin Gilles et moi qui avons passé de longs moments dans notre enfance ensemble et qui étions vraiment différents de par nos caractères. Gilles très actif dans la compétition, le sport, qui voulait devenir un businessman redoutable, et moi qui depuis ma tendre enfance cultivais la voie du Tao, la voie de la paix intérieure, du Tai Chi. Malgré nos différences, j'apprends quelques années plus tard, enfin, de longues années plus tard, qu'il a enfin trouvé sa propre voie et un maître, et qui ont fait de lui un très très bon thérapeute. Je recommande à tous pour ses soins. Et aujourd'hui, nos voies se réunissent puisque moi-même, je suis devenu thérapeute. J'enseigne le Tai Chi, le Qigong et les massages traditionnels chinois que Gilles complète par ses soins dès qu'il peut être parmi nous. En mai 2019, un de mes chats se fait attaquer par un très gros chien qui lui brise la colonne vertébrale. Suite après quoi, le chat se retrouve paralysé, donc il ne peut vraiment plus marcher. Au même moment, Gilles arrive en Martinique, s'occupe du chat, lui apporte quelques techniques que lui a enseigné Master Shah. Et très rapidement, on voit des changements. Quelques jours après, mais vraiment moins d'une semaine après, on voit le chat se mettre sur ses pattes. Et une semaine après, on voit le chat marcher normalement, même commencer à courir un petit peu. La transformation était évidente, heure après heure, jour après jour. Et je serai toujours infiniment reconnaissant envers Gilles pour avoir sauvé mon chat du pire.
Carole avec Andrea, c'est mon bras droit et mon bras gauche. Hein. Si elles ne sont pas là, il n'y a personne dans cette salle-là qui est ici. Donc déjà, on va dire merci à Carole.
Je trouve que c'est un monde merveilleux. C'est une aventure qui est exceptionnelle et pouvoir servir l'autre, je crois qu'il n'y a rien de plus beau à découvrir sur Terre que cette rencontre que j'ai eue avec toi et avec Masterchef, etc. Donc, merci beaucoup, Gilles. Gilles est un exemple pour moi. Son travail ne s'arrête pas aux gens de son île. Il va vraiment déborder dans toute la Caraïbe et il va où les gens sont mal. Avec tout ce qu'il fait, je n'ai qu'une envie, c'est de le servir parce que je vois comment lui, il sert les autres. Et je suis arrivée comme ça au Darwin.
Now we're on our way to go to the ferry to go to Dominica. Here's the Calinago population. Hey.
In the last 2 years, I did many trips to the Caribbean and Hawaii as a humanitarian to serve the poor and help them to transform their health challenges. I went to Dominica to offer Dao blessings to the people that didn't have access to medical care. In 2017, when the Hurricane Maria hit the Caribbean, especially the island of Dominica, I knew I had to help all the population. I raised money to buy water filters and other items to help the population there. One water filter can bring clean water to 50 people for a period of 6 months.
My name is Philomene Zupini. I suffer from these injuries I had from my brother, and I suffering from sugar, diabetes.
Okay. Relax, close your eyes, and I will do the rest, okay?
When he came, I was feeling plenty pain on the side of my leg, my foot, my toes, and my fingers, and everywhere. On a scale of 1 to 10, my pain was 8. After Jill's blessing, I feel no pain. I'm not feeling no pain in my body, no pain. No. I can even dance if I have to dance. Now I'm feeling good. Praise the Lord for Jill.
My sister Paula introduced me to Jill and told me that he was a healer. I was a bit skeptical about that type of healing because I never knew it. That's not what I grew up with. And until I saw the things that he could do, the healing that he did in the country, I was still a skeptic. But then I became a believer. I understood and saw what was happening. And then I became interested in being able to learn and know more about that type of healing.
So this is what we call a Da-I card, the power of love. You know, love has the power to heal and remove blockages. So Da means greatest, I mean love, Da-I mean greatest love. So very simple, because those cards are very ancient healing powers infused with very high healing frequencies, and every time you have it on your body, you will start to feel the healing happening, okay?
He introduced me to Master Sha's work. I'd never heard of Master Sha, but right now it has been spreading in Dominica, and so happy for even the people when they felt the result, and they felt the relief from pain they have had for 20 years. I'm seeing but it's simple techniques and people can feel that way within 10 minutes. It was just amazing to me.
My name is Cecilia John. Well, I'm 82 years, and before I used to work hard. I had 7 children on my own. It have how many, around 21 or 22 years since I have that foot. I cannot walk far. When I start walking, I just feel it coming weak and it just trembling, and I have to go down on my bum, sit down there. I go hospital, I go in clinic. It's the same thing. Nothing couldn't cure, nothing. So I take treatment, I have tablet, dressing until I could walk to go in the health center.
Is it painful?
Yes.
Painful, huh? Up to here?
Not right up. Yes.
Down, yeah.
I start praying and talk to God, praying all the time.
See, along the tibia, if you just tap like that, you're gonna start to have the blood moving a little bit faster.
It was a blessing. God sent him to me. When I was praying every day that I could get somebody to help me to get my foot better.
You want to do it by yourself?
Yes. Every time I have to go out, somebody have to come and hold my hand too, or carry me go on my transport to go by the doctor. But look now, I walk out on my own. I feel in my 2 feet come light.
Yes, more you're gonna walk, more it's gonna feel lighter.
Yes, much better. No, the pain gone. I just feeling good now. I just feeling I can walk down the road, or I can walk that side. I'm feeling happy. That's a joy to me, joy in my heart. So long I there, my foot cannot cure. I feel proud of him that he come, and I just say into my heart, God that sent him. Praise the Lord. Praise God.
Thank you, Master Shah.
Thank you, Master Shah.
So happy for you.
Yes.
With this practice and Jojo, a month and a half after, my genetic back pain was gone. One hand here, one hand behind the back. That's the body power. Where you put your hand is where you receive healing. In China, we say, Qi Dao, Shui Dao, which means first the energy arrive, then the blood arrive.
It was very good that Jill showed up at this point to help in a very good way. We have one medical facility which is on the territory but does not have the full potential in it to deliver facilities.
Sound power is the number 9 called Jo. So we're going to repeat Jo, 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 Jo aloud together and silently.
I think what he's trying to do is really great. Trying to meet as many people as possible who have issues and teach them how to take care of themselves, practices that they should leave behind and those they should take on board, so that we can concentrate a little bit more on spirituality, to heal the community where persons can really respect and understand and share love among each other. So definitely there will be need for Jill coming back.
Thank you, Master Shah. In 2005, Master Shah received the Divine Song of Love, Peace, Harmony from heaven and started the Love, Peace, Harmony movement to have 1.5 billion people chanting 15 minutes a day to raise the frequency of humanity and bring positive vibration to humanity. I'm so happy to bring the song Love, Peace, Harmony to my people in the Caribbean to make people happy and healthier.
I've been playing the Love, Peace and Harmony song from the time that I've got it. It calms the children when they are better settled in the classroom. So because of that, they were able to show improvement in their lessons and in the test scores.
The Love Peace Harmony song makes me feel relaxed, ready to do my work, and I get better grades.
When I listen to the Love Peace Harmony song, it cools me down and makes me focus in class. And I wish I could bring it home with me to listen, every morning after I get up.
So sister, I'm so happy to see you again. 7 months ago, I was here bringing Love, Peace and Harmony players to you, and you're doing an amazing job with the children. And I told you I would come back with new tools to help the children to strive and have a better life and better grade at school and better future. So Master Shaz channeled the song Love, Peace and Harmony and brings this high frequency to the world, got his latest book on the market, and we brought a few of them for you. It's very, very powerful, and it's working with the power of forgiveness. And you know how forgiveness is important in this world. This is the latest book, Greatest Forgiveness.
I'm very grateful to receive copies of the book, Greatest Forgiveness. The theme means so much to me, Greatest Forgiveness, because as a Christian myself, I believe in the power of forgiveness. I've learned that so many people are sick, so many people live unfulfilled lives, unhappy lives because of a lack of forgiveness. So there is power in forgiveness. That fits in so well, just the title. I've not read the book yet, but I can just imagine the impact it will have on those of us who will read it.
Today, I'm very grateful because Master Shah created Dark Souls Healing Calligraphy art field for the Caribbean. Lorsqu'on arrive dans un champ vibratoire comme ça, en fait, tous les blocages qui sont enfouis, qui nous embêtent pendant longtemps, bah, ils commencent à revenir vers la surface. Et le cœur est s'ouvre.
So the calligraphy's down source light field is a special connection to higher vibration and frequency. You can think of a challenge, health issue, emotion, or something in your life as low frequency. So we're going to do something to help raise the frequency. Each of these calligraphies are original work of art, but they're more important than a human understanding of art. There's such a way that Joe and I can connect to it to bring that field of light into your body.
Je ne savais pas trop ce que je venais chercher. J'ai un mal chronique, une douleur chronique au niveau du dos. Et je ne savais pas trop à quoi m'attendre. Et première surprise, c'est quand il fait son premier appel à l'amour. Et là, je sens une différence. Je ne peux pas dire quoi, mais il y avait déjà une différence. Et après, une fille qui était debout près de moi, qui m'a dit « Parle à la calligraphie qui est près de toi, qui est derrière toi. » Et quand j'ai fait ça, là, c'est bon, c'est perdu. Je suis venue pour mon dos, et en fait, mon problème, c'est là que ça se passe. C'est mes émotions, c'est mes blocages. Et tant que je ne vais pas régler ça, bah, mon dos, ça ne sera pas soigné. Merci, merci. Vraiment merci.
L'association Amazon est une association qui accompagne les femmes qui sont touchées par le cancer, quel que soit le type de cancer, en Martinique. J'ai été moi-même touchée par cette maladie, par le cancer du sein, il y a 5 ans. Et puis, j'ai ressenti le besoin d'avoir un lieu où les femmes peuvent se retrouver entre elles. C'était très important, s'entraider autour de valeurs telles que la bienveillance, l'amour, le support. Et c'est ce qu'on a essayé de créer avec cette association. Et Gilles fait vraiment un travail exceptionnel et c'est une bénédiction d'avoir que ce type soit né sur notre petit bout de terre.
Et souffler.
Beaucoup souffrent en silence des effets secondaires et les médecins n'en parlent pas beaucoup. Et quand je vois le bien que Gilles fait à chacune d'entre nous, c'est une bénédiction et on est super heureux, super fiers aussi d'avoir un Master Gilles from West Indies ici en Martinique.
Divine order, 10x10 divine healing hands to Elijah. Soul, mind, body transplants, transmission. Divine healing hands. Soul, mind, body transplants. Transmission.
Like his child bless us.
Very, very a lot of thank you to Master Sha and to the mission.
So every morning we wake up earlier before going to school to be able to help and trace Dao calligraphy for people in need. And not too long ago, we had a recent case where a 93-year-old elderly woman had stomach ulcer, and her family were scared because they thought she was going to die, because the doctor said, no, we can't do no surgery because she's going to die during the surgery because she was too weak. And then after a week or so of tracing, the ulcer was gone. And then a week after,
she started having bed sores, so she wanted to change the request. So we started tracing Dao calligraphy every morning again. And after a week, she started losing them. So her family was really happy and grateful.
Since the very first day I met Gilles, I have believed in him. He just blew my mind, and I've seen his quality, his big heart. He's so compassionate. He just loved and inspired everybody, and me as well, since the very first day. So I'm very grateful to have him in my life. There have been challenging times when Gilles was sick, when he went back to school. I was working full-time, supporting the family, but at the end, it was all worth it. So now, as a family of Dao healers, we can bring so much good to the world and help a lot of people.
My wife Celia has been my pillar in my journey to become a Dao healer. When I was sick, she was taking care of the family, financially and physically. Then I went back to school and learned with Master Sha. Again, she was there to help the family and support everyone. She was the one who helped me financially to become a divine healing hand healer. Celia is also a Dao healer who has offered healing to homeless, to strangers in shelters in the Caribbean, Martinique, and Trento. We always try to set the best example for our children to serve humanity. I'm forever grateful to Celia for being my wife, my soulmate, and my partner in that amazing journey to become a Dao healer. Looking back, my genetic back pain and the paralysis of my right hand was truly a blessing. Because of them, I met Master Sha and I started my Dao healing journey. He truly empowered me to become a selfless servant to serve humanity like him. With the wisdom and the soul healing techniques Master Sha and his master teachers taught me, I could live up to my full potential to serve humanity like he does. I'm truly grateful and forever grateful to Master Sha.
Okay, back to you, Paul. Would you like to maybe take over?
Thank you, Rhylin. So I apologize for coming in a little bit late. I didn't get a chance to connect with all of those that are here. I know Noel, and we've had an opportunity to connect with Alejandro a little bit. I don't believe I've met Angel or Maurizio. Would you guys mind introducing yourself a little bit? And you should have a mute button on the far left bottom corner. You can click unmute. Hi, Angel. Looks like you're unmuted.
Yeah. Hi. My name is Angel Torres. I'm Micaela's husband.
Okay.
And, yeah, I recently had a session with Master Rhylin and Terry both actually, and so they invited me to be here and just kind of checking it out.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for sharing, Angel.
Thank you.
And then Maurizio, you might have known Rhylin before, but you're new to me, so if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself. It looks like you're still muted. Yes, it does indicate with chat that his signal is poor, so that may be a variable. Are you able to unmute, Maurizio? You can let us know in chat if you're not. And while you're figuring that out, we'll go ahead and ask Alejandro to give a little bit of information about himself, why he's here today.
Hi, Paul.
Aloha.
Yes, I'm here. I just took the last workshop, the forgiveness, and it was really powerful and strong. It could open my heart in ways that I was not able to. So I'm still processing. Everything's going through it, so trying to just meditate a little bit. But it seemed interesting to learn actually how to be able to offer this healing to other people in the ways that I'm experiencing. I could understand the power and the need in the world right now for so many things. So I'm just here to learn a little more about it.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you, Alejandro. And so, Rhylin, I'm happy to follow.
Yeah, you go ahead. Maybe you hold the session. Okay. Thank you so much.
So, as you've seen, you saw an extended video, and it took a while to put that together. We actually, Gilles, as you've come to understand, is one Dao hand healer. There's approximately 5,000 in the world. And the individual that you saw a few times in the video is Master Sha. And this is our teacher. He's also a world-renowned healer. He has written over 20 books, 11 of which are New York Times bestsellers. And so almost all of us that have come to become a healer started to receive healing first. Basically, we came because we were looking for a solution to a suffering that we had, which could have been emotional or mental or physical. In Gilles' case, he wasn't looking to become a healer. He was looking to solve his 15 on a 10 scale pain that nothing else was fixing. And after basically for him and for many people, a miracle occurred, his heart was so moved, he wanted to make a difference to help others. And this is the nature of what is Dao Hands. It's an opportunity to bring extraordinary value to other people. We of course want people that have Dao Hands to bring healing to themselves. This is a core and key teaching that we offer anyone that is approved to receive this extraordinary ability. But we want to make sure also that they have a heart of service and that they want to be able to impact others and bring positivity into their lives. In my own experience, so you have a little bit of background on me. I have been following this wisdom for about 12 years. I've been on a spiritual journey for most of my life since age 18. Followed many different pieces of information that along the way helped me to become a better person and a better understanding of how I fit into this big universe. And I came across Master Sha about 12 years ago, and he offered very sound wisdom and very sage advice as to how to bring ourselves to life, how to handle emotional imbalances, how to handle mental issues. And the wisdom that he brought was very practical. He brought practices and techniques, and I saw them helping many, many people. Fortunately for me, I felt and still believe that I was very physically, emotionally, mentally sound. What I was looking for was something that could open my heart more and be all that I came here to be, because I was a little bit lost on the spiritual side of things, not able to find anything that worked for me. So in the first workshop with this teacher, as my heart was being more open and moved by the wisdom that was being shared, he said, "I'm looking for healers." And I thought that was quite interesting because, you know, I had done healing work, but no energy-based healing, only practical stuff like, you know, cleaning out your organs and practical diets and exercises and things of that nature. I was very educated in that arena, but not in energy-based healing. And I didn't really grasp it. I didn't understand it. But I had witnessed, along with 500 people at this large event on the Big Island of Hawaii, I had witnessed definitely high-level healing like what you just witnessed in this video. And I was moved by it, but I didn't really grasp it. And he said, "I'm looking for healers." And I said, "Okay, you know, hey, if it's something that I can do, I'm happy to." And he said the honor fee at that time was $1,000. And so that, you know, in my account was about $1,500. So I had, hey, left me $500 extra. I've survived on less. So I decided to try this. And I received this healing transmission. So I'm sitting in the room with about another 100 people that decided to receive, because all 500 weren't there to be a healer. They were there for healing. But I was there as a curiosity, and I received this transmission, and I felt nothing. I didn't feel a dang thing. And I was wondering if somebody took my money. But, you know, after the event, I went home to a different island, and they gave me a piece of paper and said, this is how you turn on this healing transmission. Go out and find people and offer your healing. So I said, why not? I got nothing to lose. People only laugh at me, right? So I went out and I found some roommates. I had 6 roommates at the time. I looked for people that wanted to be guinea pigs, basically, and mostly it was for myself, because honestly, I did not believe it. I just didn't believe that I could do it, to be perfectly frank. And so I found quite a few guinea pigs that were happy to receive. And what was the most shocking was that it worked. It worked right away. Thank you for the laugh, Noel. It's my first guinea pig was my roommate, which I said I had 6 of them because I lived in a very large house. So I didn't get to see very many of them very much. I had no idea that he had long-standing back pain. He was in the construction work, and he told me that his back pain was so bad that when he got out of bed, he would have to roll out of bed onto the floor on all 4s And he had a process. It said it took him about 5 minutes to get warmed up to where he can get up and go to the shower and move his muscles enough to get his day started. I was clueless that it was that bad for him. So I put up my hand, I read the script on the piece of paper, followed exactly what it said, waited about 10 minutes, and then I said, okay, so how are you feeling? We were outside at the time by the swimming pool. And he got up and he walked around and he's moving his back and twisting his body in all different directions. And he looked at me and said, well, he's from the South. He said, well, I'll be damned. There's no pain. You know, he was a very funny guy. I said, really? I was shocked. I said, really? And he said, yeah, I can't feel anything. And he was on about a 7 on a 10 scale before we started. Forgot to mention that to you. So he said it felt like a knot was unwinding in his back while I was sitting there silently for 10 minutes. So I, you know, me being the questionable person that I am, I said, well, you know, let me check with you a week or so down the road. Because I honestly, first, I didn't believe it even though he said it. And secondly, I was pretty sure it would come back because that was my monkey mind. That was my limiting thoughts. So I actually didn't see him for about 3 weeks. And when I did see him again in the kitchen, I said, hey, Barry, you know, how's your back doing? And he stopped for a minute and he said, you know, I haven't even thought about it. I said, well, does that mean you have no pain? He says, yeah, I didn't even think about it. I haven't had pain since you gave me that healing. He says, that's amazing. I'm sorry I didn't tell you. I just haven't thought about it. And so that was my very first healing blessing. I had to go through a while before I realized that, you know, not only is this stuff real, but it's magical in so many ways because you can truly change people's lives in such an extraordinary way. Such a blessing, such a huge blessing. So I'm going to ask Michaela to offer a sharing about a recent usage of her healing to help some others. Michaela, do you want to share for a moment?
Hi, yes. I would like to share a story about a financial flourishing that somebody received. I, you know, immediately I started looking for, I guess, which quote unquote guinea pigs. Somebody from India reached out to me and she was having, she just got laid off from work. And, you know, we talked about it and then we did a forgiveness practice. And I gave her Dao Hands blessing, and we did 20 minutes, just Dao Hands blessing. And then after that, she said she experienced lots of weight. And then a week later, she told me, she says that her friends, her neighbor, her mom were just giving her money, just like out of nowhere. And then she received an interview with a friend who just randomly called her and said, hey, my company's looking for a job and we want to interview you. And things were just opening up for her. So I gave her a follow-up Dao Hands, and she is still receiving money out of nowhere from her family, from her mom. So that is one story that that was pretty cool because I had my Dao Hands for a year and I wasn't really using it. I was using it for myself. I was doing it, using it for my family, my mother, my father. But I wasn't really using it for others. And you know, it's an amazing gift. And I'm using it more now. And when people share their stories, say, wow, I have this beautiful, powerful tool that I'm not using as much. So now I'm using it more. So people are coming to me, and just because I say, yes, I am available, and I'm making more time. How?
That's a beautiful sharing. Thank you, Michaela. And so, you know, one of the things that happens when we are approved to receive this transmission of light is our lives actually start to improve. And part of the reason why is because we are basically a vessel through which more light can come. The thing about Dao Hands is we are not the healer. I mean, if I go back 12 years ago when I first received the same transmission and I had my monkey mind getting in the way, I actually didn't believe it was going to work, and yet it still worked. So who was doing the healing, right? And this is one of the most important things to understand, is that when we are blessed to be chosen to receive this transmission, what is happening is heaven, who is the deliverer of this light, the deliverer of this frequency, heaven is saying, I entrust this power to you to benefit others. And one of the side benefits of this extraordinary ability is that we can bless our loved ones. You know, if you may have children, for example, every parent wants their children to be healthy. They want them to be intelligent. They want them to be successful. How wonderful would it be to be able to offer blessings every day, once a week, you know, for your children's success at school? Or there's a lot of bullying issues now at school, a lot of bullying, because children have very difficult environments, painful environments. And as a result, they bring unpleasant emotions and energies into the schoolyard, and they communicate with other children in an unpleasant, unloving manner. But it starts outside of that child and impacts that child in a negative way. And then they end up bullying another child. But someone with Dao hands, for example, could use it to offer blessings to bring harmony and harmonious balance between those children. That's a simple example. You saw how it can be used for finances. And in a few minutes, I'll give you an explanation as to how it works, because for me, it was important to understand, how does this stuff work? You know, I just couldn't grasp it. So you're actually going to get a wonderful explanation as well. And then as we go through this, I will also ask Terry to offer a testimonial. I'll ask Noel, who's been on the receiving end, to offer testimonial. But we'll move through that little by little as I share with you the nature of how this works, and then how you too can become a Dao Hands healer. So we'll cover those bases. But another way that these can be used is, for example, for relationships. And one of the things that we fail to understand in this experience called life is that our relationships carry a charge with them. And typically that charge brings us together at first. And if that charge is a positive, supportive, loving, honoring, respectful charge, then it tends to maintain for the duration of time. But sometimes the information on our energetic field, on our you know, we have a field basically that carries the information of all of the wonderful thoughts we've ever thought, all the unpleasant thoughts we've ever thought, they stay with us also. The wonderful actions we've done for others and all the unpleasant actions we've done for others, they stay on our field. And the same thing with our actions. So our thoughts, words, and actions, good and unpleasant, they stay on our energetic field, and it impacts our day-to-day and our future. And so we want to be able to transform the negative messages and keep the positive ones. And this is an aspect of how Dao Hands works. It releases the negative information, releases the negative messages, those thoughts, words, and actions that we wish we could kind of take back and transform, and it brings in higher vibrational frequencies. And you'll learn a little bit more as we go. But when it comes to relationships, they too can be transformed. Truly amazing. So let's talk about why Dao Hands can work for so many different things. So the first thing to understand is that Dao Hands is a transmission of light, and it transforms the vibrational frequency of all that is lower than it, basically. Since the vibrational frequency comes from the source, then that source frequency, generally speaking, is higher than negative messages and negative energy and negative thoughts. That's pretty logical, right? We know the source carries a great deal of love and compassion, and so that frequency is higher. And so when somebody receives a Dao Hands transmission, like when I received my transmission 12 years ago and I didn't really understand what was happening, I basically was becoming a vessel through which heavenly frequencies, heavenly love, heavenly light came through me, through my hand, and came to that individual for their request. And it started to alter their field. Let's take a look at what actually was occurring on their field. I'm going to pop up a screen here for you to look at. Let me prepare it properly so you can see it properly. Okay, good. And move that here and share the screen. Okay. I believe you'll be able to see this now. And in the, hopefully you all have a screen where you can see, not on the telephone. So
yes, we can see.
In the, thank you, Terry. In the wisdom that our teacher, Master Sha, has brought to us, much of it he did not invent. Much of it has been copied and carried over the last 5,000 years in the ancient Eastern wisdoms and philosophies that have helped people to heal over time. And he is simply sharing it in a modern format. And when you see the words Shen, Qi, and Jing, these are ancient words, been around many, many years. It's like saying the words love and peace and harmony. Everybody knows those words. Well, Shen, Qi, and Jing is that simple and that long-standing. And what Shen stands for is the soul and the heart and the mind. And the words Qi, you might have heard of before, like Qigong and Tai Chi. So that represents energy, kind of movement of energy. So what are you doing when you do Qigong? You're moving energy. What are you doing when you're doing Tai Chi or martial arts? You're working with energy, right? And then Jing is a Mandarin Chinese word that translates to matter, physical matter, okay? So there's a couple different ways of looking at this. You see on the right side where it says Tao science. So Shen, from a scientific perspective, reflects information. The soul is the carrier of information. Now, how did I express that about 10 minutes ago? I said that you carry on your field all the positive and all of the unpleasant thoughts, words, and actions. The positive thoughts, words, and actions. Well, Tao science would look at that as the soul is the carrier of information. What is the soul? Well, many perspectives on it. From Master Sha's perspective, the soul is a light being. You and I are light beings, and we all come from the source. So we are light beings from the source. That would be his explanation of what is a soul. You can choose to accept portions of that or all of it, or keep your own perspective. We're not trying to change your beliefs here. We're offering you additional information that might resonate with you. So the soul is a light being from the source, and it carries information. Well, what information does the soul carry? Well, we definitely know it carries original source creator information of love and light and compassion. That's always there, never going to go away. But it seems that over the course of time, that information gets challenged. We as individuals, we have free will, therefore we make choices that might not be in the highest alignment with love and compassion and light, right? And so those choices over time tend to remain in our field as well as the positive ones that we are born with, that we are created with. So those then impact our heart, which is the receiver of the information. So our heart then receives what kind of information? Is it receiving information, pure, loving, kind, compassionate from the source? Or is it receiving information that is negative, information that is a little bit more selfish, information that is a little bit more unpleasant? And how did that get there? So one of the ways that negative information gets there is from our own thoughts, words, and actions. And another way is actually because of our ancestors. In many of the wisdom teachings that are out there that are religious-based wisdom teachings, and even the non-religious ones, they say things like, the sins of the father are visited upon the son. That's kind of like saying the ancestors' mistakes come to us. In the Buddhist teachings, they call it karma. In Taoist teachings, they refer to it as De, which is a reflection of the same things. They all have different names for basically the same thing, that we're interconnected. You, I, and our ancestors are interconnected. So if our ancestors are benevolent, they're kind, they help people, they do many, many good things, then typically those positive messages benefit us, and so forth. If we do good things, it benefits our children. So this is the general information, and that information resides with the soul. So the information then comes to our heart, which is the receiver. Is it positive information that's receiving, or is it negative information that's receiving? The heart receives the information, it sends it downward. It sends it kind of like the sun comes down to earth and then comes down to us, right? So this information comes down from heaven, down to our soul, down to us. But if we as a soul have carried a bit more negative information than positive, then the heart is unable to receive as much positive as we would like. So let's use this under two different examples so you can see how this works. The heart, let's say it receives positive information, a kind and loving thought. The heart receives that kind and loving thought. Maybe it's looking at a beautiful flower. Maybe it's seeing a child laugh, so the heart opens up. And then the mind receives that beautiful, open-hearted, received message from the soul. And the mind says, I'm receiving a message from the heart and the soul, and it's a positive, loving, compassionate message. I'm going to forward this message to the energy of this body. You have to remember, the mind is actually like a computer processor. You give it a piece of information, it sends it downstream. So the mind is just a processor. And we want to learn to have control over the mind using the heart and the soul. More about that later. So the mind senses positive information downstream, and it comes to the energy, and the energy says, ooh, I really, really like this loving, kind energy. I'm going to give loving, kind energy to the matter of the heart and the lungs and the muscles, and this person's emotions then become very kind and happy, and the smile comes on the person's face. Because what is matter? That's the person's skin, their muscles, their bones. It reacts because the soul sent the positive message, the heart received it, the mind sent it to the energy of the body, and then the body responds with a smile, eyes, happy eyes, and a wonderful, wow, what a beautiful flower, or wow, what an amazing child, right? So that's what happens from the perspective of Tao science, from the perspective of traditional Eastern philosophies. Now we can use the same wisdom to see what happens when something negative occurs. So we have, for example, a piece of negative information that's been hanging out on your energy field for a long, long time, creating turmoil in your mind, creating some very unpleasant thoughts, you know, those looping thoughts, right? So this, whenever you have a looping thought, it creates more debris in your energetic field. Kind of think about it. You ever have those looping thoughts? Do you think it's bringing good stuff to your energetic field or negative stuff to your energetic field, right? And so this negative stuff gets building and building and building. And so your heart receives a negative information. It sends it to the mind, which doesn't dictate, doesn't care what you're sending it. It's just the processor. And it sends that to your energy of your body. And the energy of your body says, all right, well, I got to work with this. And it sends it to your physical. And you have a frown. And you have another negative thought. You might reach out with anger. It could impact your organs like your liver. The anger and the liver are connected. That wisdom is shared in the more advanced classes. And so this is the nature of Shen, Qi, and Jing. Your soul, your heart, and your mind are interconnected. The energy and the matter are interconnected. I want to offer just a few more minutes of how this can impact our health, how it can impact our finances and our wellness from a different perspective, from a health-based perspective. This time we're going to work from the bottom up, so you see it from a different set of eyes. So if we look at Jing, which is matter, matter is the level that modern medicine works on. A doctor sees pain in the back, and he says, let's do surgery on your back. Let's give it these chemicals, this morphine, let's give it these drugs, and that will adjust the cellular structure and the cellular biochemical components. And hopefully that biochemical component adjustment will cover up the pain. So, or we'll just do surgery. So this is the Western approach to dealing with things is at the level of matter. The Eastern approach is to deal with things at the level of energy, because they understand that energy affects matter. And they say, well, you have back pain? Okay, let's do some specific massage. Let's move the energy. Let's do some acupuncture needles. Let's do some Tai Chi or Qigong. Because when you move the energy, the blood flows. And when blood flows, then the matter will follow. And so traditional Chinese medicine uses herbs to balance the energetic imbalances, which then affects the matter, you see? So it is a top-down hierarchy. It's just a different approach to bringing about a resolve. Well, Master Sha studied as a traditional Chinese doctor, and he studied as a traditional Western medicine doctor, both. He has an education, very high-level degree in both, and he became a world-class acupuncturist. He still, in his own words, found that about 10 to 20% of whatever he did still didn't work. And he also had been training since the age of 6 with Tai Chi masters, Qigong masters, Feng Shui masters, I Ching masters, Kung Fu masters. He had studied with many ninja masters his whole life, which also gave him very grounded, higher level wisdoms and philosophies beyond the typical Western and Eastern models. And so he understood that there must be something above matter and energy. He understood this intelligently. And so because he had been working with very high level energy masters and high level masters that connect to the source, he also had developed a connection to source even in his earlier years. And so he asked heaven, "Dear heaven, what is above the energy and the matter?" And heaven shared with him, long story short, the soul was above it all. That if you can transform the blockages at the level of soul, then you can transform what the Eastern and Western medicine can't seem to transform. He said, well, how do you transform these soul level blockages? Because he understood the soul was the carrier of all this information, the positive and the negative information. And heaven said to him, in order to transform, you need to use love, you need to use forgiveness, and you need higher frequencies and vibrations than the negative ones that are currently controlling the individual's life. And so this then shares with you a much higher understanding of how Tao Hands works and why it's not limited to just the physical body. Because as an individual, me, you, whoever, we go through life doing basically the best we can. I mean, we got the wisdom from our parents. We love them, but they may have made some unhealthy choices, and that could have impacted us negatively. But with that negative information, what did we do? We went out and we made positive choices to be better people because we didn't want to duplicate some of the negative stuff. I wanted to keep the positive stuff. So we have our personalities, but we still go through and do good things in life, and we make some mistakes in life. Heaven is most kind. Heaven is most fair. If a person has a good heart and a good soul, and they want to serve others, and they want to transform their negative messages, then they may approve you to be a Tao Hands healer. And when you offer a Tao Hands blessing, what in essence occurs is heaven uses you as a vessel through which light comes, love comes, compassion comes, these higher frequencies and vibrations come, and they, in essence, whoever the blessing is being offered to, they dissolve and forgive the imbalances, the blockages that are on that person's field of energy. The percentage of success is completely dependent on heaven. We're just the delivery vehicle and vessel. So this then provides a much higher understanding of the nature, power, and significance of Tao Hands. So I want to ask Terry to give an example of something different. I know he probably has a couple of different testimonials about what he may have used Tao Hands for. You've heard so far testimonial for physical pain and suffering. Michaela's offered you a financial example. And after you hear a couple different ones, I'll tie this all together with why it works for all of them, and then we'll move into how you could possibly be approved and what the honor fees are. Terry, would you like to share?
Thank you. Is my volume good? You muted. It must have been a yes. Okay.
You're good.
So recently, I've had people whose pets have been having issues. The most recent one, a client of mine, a businesswoman, loves her dog, and they were out playing in the park a week ago Saturday, and the dog started vomiting and collapsed, was just unconscious. And she freaked out and picked the dog up, and it weighs like 55 or 60 pounds. She got into her car, and on her way to the emergency vet hospital here in Portland, she managed to text me, hope it was at a stoplight, and I asked if there was anything I could do. And I thought, well, a Dowhan's blessing works for any condition, and it doesn't have to be a human being. And I just asked the transmission to send a blessing as appropriate to the dog. And I think it took her 20, 25 minutes to get to the vet hospital. And when she got there, the dog stood up and walked around like nothing had happened. And so the vet went ahead and did some tests, and it gave it Benadryl or something to calm it down because it's a very active dog. So it was a little dopey the next day when I checked in with her, but she considered it a life-saving miracle. She thought the dog was dead.
Wow. It's actually very, I think I only heard you say that once before. That's amazing.
I'm just so grateful to be able to bring something through. You know, it's not me. I never could do anything like that. But it's like, dear my Dowhan's, you know, can you help this dog? It's, you know, you should have felt the expression when she texted me.
How long was the blessing, Terry? How long was the blessing?
Oh, 8 to 10 minutes is all probably, because I just stay tuned in to, okay, is it done yet? Is it done yet? Not yet. And just hang out until I get the yes, it is. It was like 8 or 10 minutes. I can feel a lot of energy going through me is the way I think of it. It must have been a lot. Dog was up and walking.
Fabulous. That's a great story. We actually have quite a few stories about pets and pet healing. Like you saw the one where Gilles offered a blessing to the cat. Do you see that cat's back? I mean, there was no skin on the back, and it was just dragging its hind quarters. And after a week or two of Dowhan's blessings, it was back to normal. That's not a normal occurrence in anybody's world. That's a very unusual recovery. I can tell you, very few vets would tell you that they could do anything for that poor cat. But who can? Heaven can. It also shares with you that the body, whether it's a human body or an animal body, has the ability to recover. It has the ability to heal itself from the inside out. What does it need to accomplish that? It needs enough positive Shen Qi Jing. It needs enough of positive information to remind those cells and those muscles and everything, this is what a perfection looks like. This is what your original alignment looks like. And this is one of the differences between this form of healing, if you will, and others that are out there. Because they all have a different variable of effectiveness. And by all means, we complement many different modalities. Those who have other modalities of energy healing, they find that when they add this to their repertoire, they find it actually is one of the faster forms of healing, and that it has greater diversity, that it can impact more things. So I wanted to share with you why. So in Master Sha's base teaching, which goes back 20 years in his original books, why then does Tao healing work for finances? Certainly, finances don't have a soul, right? Why does Tao healing work for a pet? Well, maybe a pet has a soul. Well, why does Tao healing work to cause a car to start? Certainly, cars don't have souls. Cars aren't carrying negative messages around, right? Why does Tao healing work for a business that is failing? Because it does. But a business doesn't have a soul. A business is not carrying around negative messages, is it? So Master Sha's core wisdom that he received from heaven is that everyone and everything is made up of soul, heart, mind, energy, and matter. Everyone and everything has source creator infused within it. All the smallest specks of energy and matter are made up of source, right? So even before it becomes into manifestation and becomes a car, before it's glued together to a chair, before it's glued together and becomes an animal, all the energy and matter still comes from source. So the base wisdom is that all energy and matter, all creation carries source, soul, heart, and mind. Source, soul, heart, mind, energy, and matter. Therefore, it can be transformed because it came from that original source. So when we use our Tao hands, it actually has virtually no limitations, with the exception of a few rules that we give you when you become a Tao hands healer. It doesn't mean you're approved. Those few rules are so you don't overstep your boundaries and try to stop hurricanes and things like that. We certainly don't want to push those kinds of limits. But it goes to show you the nature of the connectivity of everything. Everything comes from source. A person's finances, Michaela just gave you a fabulous example. People's businesses have been blessed and literally turned around with a few blessings. People's relationships have been blessed and turned around with some blessings. 17-year marriages turned around. Not easy, but possible because the negatives are turned into positives. So there's no limitations necessarily with Tao hands. The only variable is how high are those negative information. Sometimes you offer a blessing and the person's back pain is the exact same as it was when you started. 10 minutes, nothing happens. Now we saw several examples where animals wake up and they're instantly better. Doesn't always work that way. Why? Because it depends on the level of negative information that is on that person's field. Sometimes you have to do 3 or 4 or 5 blessings. But then the second one, they get a little better. The third one, they get a little better. The fourth one, they're almost perfect. The fifth one, they're back to normal. This is the nature of the release of negative information and replacing it with positive information. It's the same thing with any aspect of our life. So I wanted to take a moment and share with you what do you receive when you become a Tao hands healer, and who can give it to you. I have to honestly say, from my perspective, it's truly, this is just me. To me, it's astounding, just mind-boggling that someone like a Master Sha can put his hand up and say transmission, and instantly the person that he points his palm to can become a healer that can create the same kind of examples we're talking about today. I don't want to use the word miracle, but that it falls in that category occasionally. To me, that's astounding. That's the kind of stuff that I watched on TV shows and movies, where the student follows the master for 30 years, and then the master is ready to pass on, and so the master puts his hand on the student's forehead and transmits his power to them. I see that in movies, but to actually be in real life, witness where the very, very advanced spiritual being says the word transmission, and instantly someone has that same kind of power. To me, that's just mind-boggling. It just floors me. So it's taken me a while to accept that that's a reality in this life. Wow, how unusual, just truly strange. What's more mind-boggling than that is that individual, Master Sha, also has the ability, the authority, if you will, because he works for heaven, to pass on that transmission power to others. So he has passed it on to center leaders and master teachers. Rulin and I have received the ability and authority to transmit this healing power you've been watching. That, to me, is doubly mind-boggling, because who am I? I delivered pizzas for a while. I sold, homes, and I did 27 jobs. I'm just a nobody with a lot of skills, but I certainly didn't have the skill to say the word transmission and somebody is instantly a healer. How is that possible? Think about it. It's possible because there really is a source. And that source loves us so much that the source brought many beautiful souls to humanity, and a few special beautiful sources given these kinds of extraordinary abilities to. He's not the Dalai Lama. Dalai Lama's the wisdom guru, right? Master Sha, he's not Dalai Lama. He's not Jesus. He's not any of these other special souls. He's very special in his own way, and his dedication is to serve humanity. So he's brought this power, and he can transmit it, and he's transmitted it to Rulin and myself, And there's about 150 master teachers on the planet that have also received this authority where they can transmit Tao hands to individuals. Just amazing to me. So we have this authority, and what we do is we hold a 2.5-day workshop. It's always at the end of the month, and I tell you, you are so blessed if you can attend one of these online, because for the last 15 years that this has been offered, everybody, we're only in 10 locations in the whole planet, 10 locations. So virtually everybody had to jump on a plane, spend $500 or more, spend a couple $100 for their accommodations, another couple $100 for the food to attend an event, and then they had to honor for the receiving the Tao hands as well. So when it was all said and done, they're extraordinarily happy, but it was a couple $1,000s, and they can go off and offer healing to family members. But now, because of the COVID-19, we are allowed to offer this remotely like this. Just last month, we had, I think, 12 new people, just like you, watching a presentation just like this. Not sure if they were going to do it or not sure if they'd be approved, because you have to be approved. Not sure if it would really work, like me 12 years ago, right? And they received it, and then we do 4 weeks of follow-up training, and we're checking with them every week. Have you been offering healing? What's been your results? And they're like, oh my God, I gave this to my daughter, I gave this to my son, and their headache went away, and you know, if they got a job of their lifetime, and they're just astounded because they get to see what we've been talking about. And the healing for them was instant. It's instant. They just turned around the next day and followed the script and put up their hand and waited 10 minutes, and whoever received just was like, wow. And so for them, they went through the process of, wow, this stuff really works. So it's astounding. And they received the transmission the first day, typically Friday. So write it down on your calendar, July 24, 25, 26. That's when we're doing it this month. We have it scheduled for next month, but they may take it away, depends on if they open up physical presence or not. If they open up physical presence, then you have to come to one of the healing centers to receive. But if they still allow it online, you may have one more month to receive it online. And so the 24th is a Friday. It's 6 to 9 p.m. The next 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, are 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. And I added a little more time on the Sunday because we always go late. And during that time, what do you receive? Well, you receive 4 transmissions. The first one is the Tao hands. Instantly, you are a healer, instantly. And we do lots of practice. The second thing you receive is what's called a light wall protection. This is just extraordinary, light wall protection. And it assists you to be a better healer, basically, because when people have negative information on their field and we offer a blessing, negative information is there to help us to grow. We had that teaching with Doc One Shu. If that information's on our field and something unpleasant happens in our experience, it's there to teach us and to grow. And so we learn from it or we complain about it. That's typically what happens. The Tao hands shortens that process, assists with the release of the negative messages. And so the healer then needs a light wall protection so that those negative messages stay with that individual or heaven takes it away. So you get that as well. You also get a protection for and protection against, this is called spiritual protection. So it's careful with the words, spiritual protection for protection against communicable diseases. How special is that? What does that mean? Does that mean you're never going to get a cold or the flu again? Of course not. It means that at heaven, they say this person's important. They're here to receive this transmission so they can help other people. So they don't leave because of this virus or this cold. They stay with us, and they might have sickness, but they stay with us. Okay, that's what that means. You also get a transmission included in this protection package for protection against electromagnetic smog and natural disasters, right? Why? Because there may be a time in the the entirety of your life, 10, 20, 30, 100 years, that you might be in a location where there could be a natural disaster and heaven needs you to be present to help others, okay? So these kinds of protections come with it. The final transmission you get is called a heavenly pendulum. It transmits into your body and will teach you how to get yes and no answers so that you can be a better healer, okay? How many times should I offer a healing blessing to this person? More than once? Yes. More than twice? Yes. You learn how to use this pendulum to see how many times you offer the blessing or how long you offer that blessing, things like that, okay? So these 4 transmissions come to you typically Friday, maybe sometimes Saturday morning, and then the remainder of the time we go through a variety of wisdom and teachings to help you to understand more about the nature of what you've received, practices in offering blessings, and more about the nature of how ill health occurs in the body, and with a general, very general understanding of how ill health can occur in a body from the Eastern philosophy perspective. When you have a little higher understanding from the Eastern philosophies, then you can look at a person and they can say, let's say they have anger, right? Well, after this weekend, you'll have a comprehension. You go, wow, I remember in the workshop, they said that could be related to the liver. And so you can offer a blessing with that additional information that you might not know before, okay? So you learn those kinds of wisdoms. Then we give you 4 follow-up weeks, 2 hours per week. And at the end of that period of time, assuming you come to all the classes and you pass the short 10-minute test, then you become a certified Tao healer. Okay, so before I go into the honor fees and how you can attend, and to see if you're interested, first of all, we have to see if you're approved. But assuming you're approved, and before I go into the honor fees of how to become a Tao Hands healer, are there any questions that we can answer at this time?
Paul, I have one.
Go ahead, Noel.
What if because of my brain injury and it doesn't get healed like really lickety split, or if it does, that's wonderful. But if it doesn't, what if I'm a slow learner?
Okay, that's a good question. You'll be happy to know.
And part of that is the last time I went to a long training, it was to train with a new dog partner. And I didn't know enough and I was not assertive enough to talk to the trainers about what TBI really was. And they'd only ever worked with one other client who was very different than me. And I crashed because they wanted me to work 6, 8, 10 hours a day. And I really crashed and I lost a really good friendship over it.
Okay. So we don't want to go too far down all that information, Noel. Let me kind of answer your initial concern, okay? Okay. So the answer is, whatever your personal stuff, we have one of the top teachers actually had obsessive compulsive disorder, right? OCD, where if they didn't touch the door handle and count 1, 2, 3, 4, then in their head, they were going to die. And this person was able to receive a Tao Hands transmission. Why? Because it doesn't really matter what our own personal blockages are, whether it's a memory issue or whatever it is. What matters is heaven sees your heart. And if heaven says, yes, you're approved, then they know where your heart is. And they know that you can use your Tao Hands to help further heal yourself. They know that you will get through those blockages, whatever they are, because they wouldn't give you the transmission if they didn't know that. Okay? Good. Any other questions? Okay. So, go ahead, Angel. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Go ahead. There's no comment.
Yeah, my question is, how do you get approved?
Okay. So Rulin or myself, we check guidance. I mentioned, for example, we have a pendulum that you received that. We have been training for 12 plus years to receive heaven's guidance, receive heaven's pure messages. And lots of training to where we have over 95% accuracy. Otherwise, we would not be allowed to make those kinds of choices, because heaven doesn't want us making mistakes. We don't want people that have not earned it to be in this position. So that's how we do it. So my next question is, if there's no more questions, is who would like to be approved, checked for approval, excuse me, for a receiving?
I would.
Okay. Anybody else like to be checked for approval? Now, checked for approval doesn't mean that you agree to sign up today. It means, are you approved or not approved? Because if you are approved and it's not something you can do at this moment, then you can position yourself to access it in the future. So who else would like to be checked at this time? Noel says we've checked her before. That's right. I'm pretty sure you were approved, Noel. Maurizio, would you like to be checked? Alejandro, would you like to be checked? You're both still muted if you're talking.
Yeah, Alejandro said yes, he wants to get approval.
I did not see that pop up. Okay.
Yeah, I think he accidentally just sent a message just to me.
Okay. Mauricio, would you like to be checked? Okay. So you might have to email us separately, Mauricio, or we can check if you'd like. Berlin, would you like to do the honors?
Okay. Yeah, I got for Alejandro. I
Yes,
think
for Alejandro?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mauricio is, I think he said his signal is poor. Maybe you want, yeah, Angel for sure. Yeah. I got yes for Angel.
Okay.
And also,
Mauricio earlier, I was able to tell us the signal was poor, so I know his chat works. But
yeah.
may have to let us know in chat or let us know. Okay. So the honor fee for becoming a Dao Hands Healer, for those that are approved, is one time $595 US. Okay. You can, we have the links, we can drop them in the chat room here. Michaela, would you mind grabbing those links and dropping them in the chat? And the honor fee is one time. It includes all of the training. It includes the transmissions. It includes everything we've been talking about. And once you receive your certification, you can actually start generating revenue if you wish to do so. There are quite a few out of the 5,000 or so Dao Hands Healers, quite a few that generate revenue, a couple hundred a month or more, just by offering healing blessings to people that they know. Instead of offering it for free, they just say, well, you know, you've tried that chiropractor and it's not worked. How about you give me that $75 instead of the chiropractor, and let's see how this Dao Hands works for you. Most people, if nothing's worked for them, they're like, sure, okay. And voila, their back pain feels better. And you get a little bit of extra money to offset any of the expenses you might have had for joining the course. Open your mind a little bit. This is not just output with no return. You have the possibility of great financial return. We're actually teaching a course on that right now. A little bit late to be offering that to you, but it is something that is available as a healer. Okay, so thank you, Michaela, for posting that link in there. And so that's basically the entirety of what is a Dao Hands Healer. Rulin, do you wish to add anything?
Yeah, I just want to say, it is just amazing like a blessing for us to have Dao hands, because suddenly when you have Dao hands, suddenly the things you never imagined you could do, and suddenly just become possible, and you suddenly had the power to change your life, and to recreate your life in a way, or just enhance your life in a way you can never ever done before. It is almost like, before maybe you are um, um, you can only live on the 2 dimensions, right? And suddenly you gain the superpower to live on the 3 dimensions or 4 dimensions, and you just like be suddenly your life be expanded in a level beyond your comprehension. And so we are just very, very blessed to have this tool. I was um, Angel to have it, because Angel is helping a lot of people. And if you have this, you can help them so much better, on all levels. And so you can serve them in a greater way, not only, just really, um, it's to open up many, many, many possibilities and options for you. Like in my case, I use it for my research, or whatever issues come up in my life. And it just suddenly, I'm not the same person anymore. Really, there's, which, suddenly my life has so much more higher possibilities. And at this moment, Master Sha make this now, make the Dao Hands training, make this available, because he's a miracle healer, world-renowned miracle healer. Normally, people have those abilities, they keep it for themselves, and like I remember in South America, there's um, uh, John of God, and he has amazing way to heal people. He will come to US. I think everybody pays thousands of dollars to go to see him and to get healing from him. And but Master Sha, he has this ability, but he gave to us for only less than $600. And because he wants to empower all of us to become a healer to help humanity. And so this is his heart to help all of us be empowered to heal our lives, to uplift our lives, and help humanity. So this is for my heart, I always just so grateful, grateful for the day I met Master Sha. Because of him, my life is completely changed. And so I highly recommend to anybody to, if you can, try to get this. Some people said, oh, maybe in the future, but I have seen people when they get it earlier, and and then immediately they can starting to use it and to even save lives, in their lives and other people's lives. So and especially right now, humanity really needs it. It needs a lot of healers. So so I highly recommend if you can, and I wish you really can get it. And I'm so happy. Noel is going to get this time, and so congratulations, Noel. Looking forward to be in the training with you. Each training is very, very magical. It's great upliftment. It's like afterwards you're not the same person anymore. Much more expanded, uplifted. It's hard to even describe what is this like, because it's for you to explore, to find out, and I can promise you it's going to be very, very amazing. So thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to connect with you, and I'll be very, very honored to do this training with you. Really empower you to become and help you to become a powerful healer, to save humanities, become the heroes, because right now there's so many disasters happening in the world. Humanity does need heroes. the jail. I know him very well. He's a good friend of mine, and I just really very very inspired by what he's doing, and he became a hero in Modenique, I think Modenique, and because he started to actually just go there and to serve. I asked him how he did it. He said what he did, he's just to go there, set up little table in the most poor area with homeless and really really poor area, and anybody wants to receive a healing, he will give them healing, and then later he will film his healing. So those people are very poor, and so he offer them free healings, and then he film his the results, right? And then he put it on a Facebook, and so he will do his volunteer work, fly to Martinique, and do his volunteer work for a few days, and so he healed so many people every day. So many people get healed from him for free. And then he put those stories on the Facebook, so other people will see his amazing healing stories. And then he will spend a couple of days. He said, "This couple of days, I'm going to accept the clients. But they need to pay me." So he spent maybe 4 days doing free volunteer work, free healing. Spend 2 days to have a paid session, and he was able. When he did that, he was able to make tens of thousands of dollars in 2 days. Actually, he said he had an issue with his finance because he made so much money. Actually, he cannot take all the money back because it exceeds $10,000. So, of course, we're being healer is not just for the money. It is really about we help people. So he actually later on he became a hero in Modenique, and there are some famous people, very powerful people that they're promoting him in the Modenique, and they're following him. They train to become Dao hands, because he really see the results and really. So he's really have a big impact right now over there. He's now setting up a center in the Martinique, Dao Center. So he single-handedly did the whole thing, and he's now has become national hero over there. So this our healing program is this training program is we want to make you the hero, and that is our goal. We want to create heroes because humanity does need the heroes at this moment. So this is a very rare opportunity. This very most difficult time is also the time create heroes and need heroes, need healers. So I'm just really want calling you to if you can become the healer, and you will very very pleased you become one. So so I'm looking forward to see you at the training if you can. I'll also tell your other friends and families, and this opportunity is available. It's next weekend basically.
That's right. It is next weekend. Think fast. Oh, one additional thing. You've been approved, and you may even sign up this month. But know that something might fly up and say, challenge you. Oh, you can't come this weekend because da 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 da. This is what's called a heavenly test. They want to see, is your heart dedicated to become a healer? So it happens almost every time. They register and looking forward to the weekend, and then some cousin or something comes out of the woodworks and demands of your time for that weekend. So just heads up on that if you decide to register. You're looking forward to it. When you see it coming, just laugh at it. Go, okay, somehow that will get figured out. This is my priority. A little heads up on that.
Yeah, literally, there are people they pass the testing. One beloved one. Her name is Cinderella, and so so the day, she said she was determined. She got a lot of healing from me and a lot of miracles for the whole family. And then she determined she's want to become a healer. And then the weekend she's going to become a healer. She said, I'm going to make sure for 100% I'm going to be there. And the day before, her boss asked her 5 to 10 times whether there's a great opportunity for her to work that weekend. And ask her so many times, she would come over and over again that day to ask her to come over there and to work for the weekend. And so he was very firm. He said, no, I have something important to do. And he's really to come to the training. But there are also people that did not pass the test. And then we have one beloved one. He came to one of the session like this, and he was so eager. He's like, oh, wow, I really, really want to become a healer. He was just so touched. I really want to become a healer. But then he was writing to me. He said he only has $300. He's a young man, $300. He don't have that to extra $100. I said, if you, I said, if you really want it, that $200, you're a young man, you can make it. It's not like you're old, you disabled, there's many limiting factors. You're young, and if you really wanted it, you can have that 200. If you really committed, you can have this 200. And so actually, so he ended up still not getting it, but I know one day he's going to do, but he's just delayed, so that partly he has not passed his own financial, the limitation he's put himself, that's part of his blockages, it's, are you think yourself abundant, when you become Dao Hands healer, you could make money. And, like Jill, make tens of thousands of dollars, only work a couple of days, and at the same time serve so many people. So so those kind of a situation we want to create. Look at Jill, his family, and just his children are Dao Hands people. They also actually make money. They have their business. They Jill sometimes said that people come to him. He said and you can get healing from my children, then you can save some money. So their children charge a little less. So, and so that, the children is also now become a healer. It's just so beautiful. And yeah, their children is very, very beautiful. I'm also very close to them, and just amazing. And so don't, so I hope you all pass the test, and you'll be able to go to the next level of living, realize this is, you can become healer, but you don't have to, you can just use your Dao Hands to enhance your current life. For example, to make more money out of your current life, make your family function better. Or if your children have or pets have the issue, or your parents have issue, you can offer them healing. So that itself, it's can very well paid off by 500, less than $600. So, yeah. So, looking forward. So I hope we had a good time, and yeah. So thank you for being here, and
yeah, thank you. Thank you everyone for coming, and make sure if you have friends that are interested that they come also. We're going to try to get this this recording out to you and everyone else that said they would be coming today, so they can watch it. And if you have a friend that you believe might be interested, just put the recording in front of them. Let that do the work for you. Okay, and we'll also make sure that if you don't have the links, you get those. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Love you. Have a good evening. Good day.
Bye.
Rest of the day. Bye.